on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Welcome to the Malted Minis, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
Hi, Brandon. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. How was your little getaway this weekend?
It was fun. Did a little trip up to Great Wolf Lodge. Had never been there before.
I've never heard of it until you told me about it.
And it used to be something else. I don't want to say it was Kalahari. Maybe it was. I forget what it was. But anyways, then Great Wolf bought it. Anyways, it was the weekend ended up being a gift from my mother-in-law for us because our little one is starting kindergarten. And she wanted us to have kind of a little fun getaway before he started school. So did that. We drove up Friday afternoon and I think we got there at like 4:30, went to our room immediately. It was like bathing suits on and then into the water park. Cause It's like a massive indoor water park and they've got, it's like a whole kids section that Benjamin was like, stuck on the entire time, that and the lazy river. But he didn't want to float in the lazy river. He wanted to walk in it. So that was funny. And then that
sounds about right.
And then, so we did that till from 5-ish till almost 8. Went back, got some food, went to bed, and then
this is a great play-by-play.
Yeah. So anyway, so the next day we got up and we intended to do, we knew we were going to do the water park again, but
Right.
He ended up. We convinced him after we had our breakfast, hey, let's go back to the room for a little bit. So mom and dad could literally pass out for a while because we were exhausted still. But again, went down at almost noonish. And I think we spent about 7 hours in the water park.
Jesus.
Yesterday. And then got home this morning, went to the farmer's market, met our friend Dan over there.
Who?
Mr. Hopps.
I'm unfamiliar. I think he has a podcast. Podcast.
But he was there. His wife was there. They rode their bikes over there. So Benjamin got to see their kid. So they kind of ran around and had fun for a while. And then we came back, hung out here, and it's just been kind of a chill day.
Nice.
Grilled like 3 pounds of chicken breasts.
Wow.
To have for the week. So
I was going to say, is that for the week or you were just getting down on boobies tonight?
Yeah, we were just like, oh man, let's just devour all the chicken we have.
Let's just eat 3 pounds of chicken breast in one sitting.
We need that protein, bro.
Easier ways to get it.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good, man. It was laid back. It was a laid back weekend. It was nice. And then I made braised short ribs today, and I did it with red wine. I can't find wine opener, so I got impatient, and I found other ways to kind of get the cork out until finally I'm just gonna push it in because I'm using most of the wine anyway. It exploded everywhere, into my eye as well. I also am dealing with let's see that.
Oh yeah, lovely.
Yeah. I also have some allergies right now. So that probably has something to do with it. It doesn't bother me. It just looks like seeing it right now in the camera. It looks creepy. But
indeed.
I made really good braised short ribs though, man. You would have liked it.
How'd you cook them?
I braised them. So I seared it. There's some carrots and onion and shallot in there with some olive oil. You cook that, then you add the chicken stock, or you add beef stock and red wine to scrape up all those little tasty bits from the bottom, and then you add the ribs back in there. They cooked for 2 and 2.5 hours. I had
Ooh.
mashed potatoes and asparagus as well.
Nice.
Yeah, really elevated French cuisine in my place tonight.
There you go.
I did on Friday. I my coworker. I took him to. He's got into. If you keep seeing me swing, that fly is flying by here. It's already flew by the mic. At one point, it has for sure. I heard it buzz through the mic, so I don't want to edit that out. I took him to Beer on the Wall, where we tried some beers there, and he built his own 4-pack. I was really proud of him. It was a very proud moment.
Yeah, I did see that text. I think I was in the middle of the water park.
Yeah, I figured as much. I was like, he's not going to respond to this, but I want him to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. And speaking of which, that's where I got my beer for. When I saw this beer there, I specifically saved it for this episode. I am drinking from Martin House Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Scare Bears Kiwi Sour.
Ooh.
It comes in at 10% ABV.
That's why it's Scare Bears.
Yeah, dude, it's scary. It's a kiwi. I can't do a New Zealand accent, so I'm not going to try. It smells like kiwi, like right off the bat. It smells like kiwi.
You're talking about the fruit, not like Australian, like that's what they call them.
It smells like the kiwis, yeah, or the bird. It is tart. There's like a little saltiness to it. Like it's almost like a goza or now. And I don't think that's intended. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just like the way my tongue is perceiving this tartness right now. With the kiwi, it was very good. The tartness of it, though, like also makes me feel like the sourness of it is trying to mask how boozy this might actually be.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. But 10% is it's pretty big for a sour beer.
Is it hot at all or like?
No, not at all. It's basically it tastes like kiwi and tartness.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
And it kind of reminds me of that New Glarus Imperial Radler that we had last week.
Okay.
As far as like the booziness goes, because it's like, it's fruity, it's sour, but there is somewhat of a booziness to it.
Yes. Did you get it?
I think I did. Call me Mr. fucking Miyagi, dude. All right, we got to pause though. Hold on one second. I wonder if I had chopsticks if I could have got it.
No.
I don't know, man. That fly he was ready. He just didn't know what he wanted anymore. Just didn't know what he wanted. Anyway, overall, this beer is delicious. It's really good.
How many kiwis would you give it?
For what we're doing here, okay, for what it is, as being like an Imperial kiwi fruited sour, I'm going to give it a 4.3. For a beer that me personally I'm going to drink, like a 3.7.
Okay.
Like that's an honest, review. Because for what it is, I mean, it's, if someone's like, you know what I want right now? I want a 10% sour beer that has kiwis in it. Then this is your beer. You found the right beer to drink. But if you're someone who's just like, I want to try something new, is this going to be in my Q zone? It might not be there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, great. Good job.
Shut up, Tone. Now I'm going to talk about the beer that I have.
No, I mean, that sounds actually, I would definitely want to try that. So if I make my way to Beer on the Wall or something, I will seek that out.
I was going to say, sorry, I muted my mic. I was going to say, if I end up back there this week, I'll grab you one.
Sweet.
Brandon, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a beer that you actually brought over. It is from our friends over at Hop Butcher. It is Gator Belts and Patty Belts.
Whoa. Gator Belts and Patty Melts and Monte Carlos.
Yeah. Oh man, I could go for a Patty Melt. This is a collaboration that they did with Youngblood Beer Company out of Wisconsin. I had it. I think it's either Madison or Milwaukee. Don't quote
What is it? Youngblood?
Yeah, Youngblood Beer Company.
Isn't that what you call me all the time?
Yeah, what's up, Youngblood? I call you Youngblood Beer Company. What's up, Youngblood Beer Company?
Yeah, that I was gonna say. They are out of Madison.
Yeah,
And they don't open until 3 p.m. tomorrow. In case you wanted to know.
Damn it.
Yeah. So.
This is fantastic, and I'm looking at the back, and there's their tasting notes: candied orange, zest and lime, and juicy pineapple. And I'm getting all of those out of here. The candied orange is a little subtle. I'm getting more some zest and lime, and then the pineapple is kind of subtle too. So I think like the lime kind of carries everything, kind of overpowers, I would say. But the pineapple being there with like that hint of orange, it's almost like if you were, it's only like 6.7%.
Yeah, it's
6.5.
Yeah, not super high.
But so like to me, it tastes almost as if you were taking like orange juice and pineapple juice and mixing that together, and then like throwing in just like a little bit of prosecco or something to kind of make like a mimosa. I'm getting kind of that vibe from it.
Wow.
But then what then takes that to the next level is the hops that they use are kind of like plowing through. So they use Citra and El Dorado.
Yes.
And the Citra is, I mean, that one's very present. And then the El Dorado is coming through, very subtly, I think. But we're getting like a nice bitterness that kind of like at the end of all of this sweetness from, the orange and the pineapple kind of then lingers away with this bitterness that complements this whole thing very nicely.
That's your greatest and most detailed and descriptive description of a hazy IPA I've ever heard.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I didn't
the last one you'll ever get.
I was just gonna say I didn't thank you for it. No, that was really good. As you were describing it, it reminded me of when I had that beer.
Yeah, I checked because when I was looking in the fridge to see, I was like, all right, what am I going to do for this? I saw that, and the first thing I did is I go to my check-ins to see if you had checked it, and you hadn't. So I was like,
Correct.
That's why I text you. I was like, have you had, is this yours?
Yeah, I brought it. I think I brought that over when you, Benjamin, and I all hung out for a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You grilled. You made smash burgers with jalapenos.
Yes.
Tasty jalapeno smash burgers.
I made those again the other day too.
Thanks for the invite.
You were somewhere because I think I had texted you and you were doing something, and I was like, because I was gonna throw the invite out, and then I was like, he's doing something. Never mind.
Hey, I still got some brats, man. I still got some brats that got to get cooked.
Hey, man, Bears are coming up, so definitely, even if we do like a Thursday night or something like that, we could do just
it's a good idea.
Night. Maybe set up a screen in the garage, watch the game,
I like your style.
Grill some stuff. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited for the football season to start. Brandon, how many patty melts are you giving that beer?
I'm gonna go like a solid 4.2, I think. I that's not solid. Anyway,
I know.
But I'm before 2 is that's kind of where I'm at. I actually really like this. I would definitely seek this one out again and get it as well. Because, as I've said before, I don't necessarily look for hazy IPAs, but I do really enjoy the way this one all kind of comes together. And 6.5%, it's easy drinking. It's not overly boozy. It's not overly bitter. The sweetness kind of complements it really well. So, 4.2.
4.2. Yeah, from what I remember, I think I probably would have agreed with you on that. I'm quickly going through my phone here because I had 2 beers at Beer on the Wall on Friday. One of them was one from Trillium. It was Citra Cutting Tiles, and it's a double New England IPA. That was 8.5%. That's how I started my stop at Beer on the Wall, with an 8.5% beer.
Yeah.
And then I had St. Errant Brewing's Session IPA, which was almost as good, if not better, than the Trillium one, and it was really good, and that one was only like 4%, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 4.2%. So I went all the way down. So I basically had like a beer and a half.
You balanced it out. You balanced it out.
Start with the triple or a double IPA, and then come on down to a session. Somewhere in there, you drank a regular IPA.
There you go.
That's
the way I look at it. Perfect way to look at it.
And it just makes me feel better about decisions I make in my life, especially when it comes to beers like that.
Yeah.
Beer like those.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you were doing full pours then?
Oh, yeah.
I
had to.
I don't. You may have said it in the text, but was it? I'm assuming it was Mike you went with.
No, it was Rocky.
Or Rocky. What did you have him try?
He had both the same beers as I did.
Oh,
yeah. Because I wanted him. He liked them both. He liked the Trillium one. I was like, and I told him how much it was after. He was like, "Why is it so expensive?" It was $13 for a 10-ounce pour. I was like, "Because you're not going to be able to get this anyplace else. This is probably the one time you're ever going to try it, and so enjoy it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was my treat.
As he slams it.
Yeah,
this beer's good.
he made his own 4-pack as well. So and we both had a Revolution beer. One of it's like Colada Hero double dry hopped, which I think used Sabro, and I forget the other hop, but it's supposed to be like a Pina Colada IPA.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I got that left. So I was going to do that, but I decided for the Kiwi instead because I didn't drink the Kiwi. So we're sticking with the Kiwi.
I think that was a good choice.
I do too.
Beer sounds fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Is it a I'm gonna need a Tums kind of beer?
No. I think I'll be okay. I don't think I'll be in pain later. I think I'll be all right. I appreciate you asking me that, though, so listeners know as well. I also have something to admit. I have had my first Oktoberfest beer already, and I did get the Sam Adams fall pack. What I have not done. Drank any of the 3 pumpkin beers that were in there. They are stashed away back in the fridge in the back of it, waiting for me to drink them in October. So I'm going to start buying some now and just stash them.
Yeah, I don't think I've had an Oktoberfest beer yet. When we were at the lodge this weekend, they did of course they have beers and stuff for parents. Actually, one of the places had margaritas on tap and Long Island iced teas on tap.
That's a bit too much.
Apparently, it only came in a 25 ounce or 32 ounce serving. I'm like, who the fuck needs a 32 ounce serving? A parent watching their kid swim, gonna sit there with the 32 ounce because. Some woman came back and she's like, "Oh, I'm here for the refill on the Long Island iced tea." I'm like, "The what refill?"
So how many did Becca have?
None. She had 2 Trulies while we were there. I opted for because I saw that they had a Sam Adams seasonal on tap.
What was it? Was it Oktoberfest?
It didn't say. It was actually on the other side, but I saw the Sam's handle, and I had only assumed that it was probably Oktoberfest. So I opted just to go with Anti-Hero.
I saw it. I cheersed you on that.
Yeah, I saw it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man. I just want to make sure that that I know that you're having a good time.
Keeping me motivated while I'm in a pool.
Hey, thumbs up, man. Way to go. That's the other thing. During the Wire already has a whole bunch of fest beers and Oktoberfest beers. So we're about to hit September. So I think the next time I go over there, I'm just going to grab them for our annual Oktoberfest episode.
I think that's becoming my favorite episode that we do.
I think we say that every year too. I think we say how much we love doing it. I think it's just it's better than the Maltese.
That and Christmas beers. I like Christmas beers. So
yeah, pumpkin beers used to be it. Now pumpkin beers, we just fucking beat ourselves senseless one year by doing 2 episodes.
Yeah. Fingers crossed that Anchor Steam releases their Christmas beer again.
Oh yeah, the Anchor Christmas ale.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
I haven't had that in forever. I forget. I was in some beer group and somebody had posted that. Oh, I had this. It's been sitting around for 3 years, or how many years they had it, and they're like, "I'm going to drink it. I'm expecting it to be terrible." And then he commented. He goes, "It's fantastic," and everyone's like, "Of course, it's fucking fantastic."
Yeah, people have held on to those for years. Where they do verticals of 10 years of the Anchor Christmas beers.
I feel like. What's the bar on Lincoln? Delilah's. I feel like they've done that in the past. I know they do.
They have for sure.
They definitely do. They've done stout. They do like stout things. And when I was working at Fishman's, I went over there once because I was dropping something off, I think. Because I think he was, I think it was around the time Kegs for Kidneys, I want to say. And they were doing something and with us, and he's like, "Oh, are you hanging out?" I'm like, "Oh man," I was like, "I didn't pay for the thing to drink," and he just handed me a bunch of because apparently everyone gets tickets, and you just go and put a ticket in a bucket, and they pour you whatever there. He's like, handed me a handful of shit, and they had at that time, this was 2012 or 13, and they had stuff from 2004, 2005, old stouts and things like that. And I was like, this is the greatest event ever. And it was just in this you've never been to Delilah's. It's a very, you would call it's got that dive bar vibe, very kind of hole in the wall, but great selection of whiskeys and bourbons.
Oh,
and,
so good. It's a
beers.
good bar.
Yeah.
I was there earlier this year when I walked, or not, earlier this
With
year,
Dan?
last month, walking back from seeing Bad, Not Good and Thundercat at Saltshed, and we walked all the way back to Dan's and made 2 stops, and that was one of them.
That's insane.
It was a good walk, man. We both felt good. We felt like it was the right thing to do, and it was.
Yeah.
I survived.
He'd be like, "Oh, but walk, it'll sober us up." Oh wait, let's stop and drink some more. Okay.
I mean, I was okay. It was Dan. I was like, let's go, Dan. This is not hip hops. This is not hip hop. It's my other friend.
Yeah.
I know so many Dans.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever seen Dan really truly drunk. I'm sure you probably have, but
yeah, I've gone to a lot of shows with him.
Yeah, I've seen him on other things. But I've not seen him on...
Not seen him on just the straight booze, the straight Bud Lights. He's a Bud Light guy.
Yeah.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Can't blame him.
That was weird.
Yeah, it said a lost connection.
I was like, I guess that's how the show ends. It did not stop. It did not stop recording though, so I am not editing that. That was funny. You disappeared and popped right back up. So actually, it's funny because you're now clearer than you were before.
Ooh.
Interesting. Well, anyways, maybe that's a sign from the gods that it's time to wrap it up. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
And we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all 3. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.
Get everything for your next project at Menards and save big money. Enjoy a good night's sleep for less with a new Citra mattress. Shop today and save big. The better the mattress, the better the savings. Find the perfect mattress that fits your size and firmness needs at Menards. America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. Visit jdpower.com for details and menards.com for deals.
Save big money